Stupid Luigi is gonna kill me. He's dumb. I'm gonna screw him. Oh, it's so beautiful. Finally, after way too long, this is Gordo Mastery, Part 3, The Stick. Now, previously, we went over Gordo sniping in the last video. Please click here to see that if you haven't already, because we're going to be building on everything right now. Here's the outline of this video, and man, do I got a lot to show you. First is the research process and what we know about the Gordo stick. Then I'm going to show you how to stick. Then follow-ups. Finally, some extra tips and specifics that we've also gotten here. Go ahead and click whatever section you want to skip to if you want to jump ahead to the actual stick walkthrough. So while I was frustrated for a long time with the Gordo stick, I was encouraged by the fact that the Gordo stick is actually intentional, and in the official in-game tips, you might have seen it before, but it says the Gordo throw, Gordos will stick to any walls they hit. Try doing this the most close to edges to cause serious trouble to enemies trying to climb up. Well, bull. If Nintendo meant this to be a great part of Dedede's arsenal, they did it wrong. I've done extensive testing and research on this, bringing in some of the best minds in Smash to take a look at just the Gordo stick. We tried to figure out how, with even what seemed like perfect inputs, the Gordo would stick, and then sometimes it would bounce off. So next, I went to look in the Gordo's code from Dantarian's dump, and I can tell you that there is nothing in the Gordo's code to do with the stick. Currently, myself and a few others hypothesize that it's in the actual stage data themselves, but we can't dig into that or crack those files open currently. But from the Gordo data, we did get this, the Gordo hitboxes, and there's some really important takeaways to highlight here. First, surprisingly, the Gordo hitbox does not match its visual image and is actually a bit smaller, except when it's stuck. As you can see at the top right, that's when the hitbox does match the full circle image. Second, the Gordo hitbox shrinks every 30 frames, not continuously, but it reduces in size, as you can see the 4 images on the left. Finally, Gordo does not rotate on its center, but on a node 8 units up from the middle. And I think you can even see that here, where even the hitbox is not centered. Now this is all great data, but it didn't answer my question as to why does the Gordo stick work and when. So I continued to test, and I began to do trials, hundreds of them, with every single type of Gordo on many different kinds of surfaces. And after all these tests, I can tell you with certainty that the Gordo stick is random, with a solid 50% chance of sticking or bouncing off. And before you ask, yes, we tested this with both the ricochet, as seen here, bouncing off the opponent into the wall, and bouncing off platforms with a few other circumstances. Through this research, I found that Gordo sticks regardless of any other factors, including the Gordo's rotation or angle it's falling, its speed, the Gordo type, up, down, forward, Gordo, etc., or whether it bounces off enemies or walls beforehand. Strangely, the forward smash Gordo stick percentages were lower, but that could easily be user error as well. So, what does this all mean? First, that Gordo sticking is a heck of a lot easier than we thought before, and I can stop trying to get my frame-perfect methods down. Second, that the Gordo stick is a measurable risk where you trade off stage control for a chance at an easy kill. Great, we threw all the boring stuff, now let's jump into how to stick. And there are just 2 main rules you have to keep in mind. First, that Gordo can only stick to a wall-jumpable surface, and second, that the Gordo must be falling towards the stage. You cannot stick while still standing on the stage, with one exception, which we'll get into later. Using those rules, I've put together 5 stick methods, all of them with very distinct purposes and uses, depending on the situation. And of course, it wouldn't be me without some breakdowns, so first we've got the Shortstick, and you'll probably be using this one most of the time. There are several ways to do this, nothing is wrong, as long as you hit Gordo and make it stick right around the edge. Another example where you fall off first, then jump. Or when you ledge grab, same exact idea. Next we've got what I call the Fullstick. Jump twice, throw an up Gordo back at stage, stuck. Now, you'll notice this is different. It takes a bit longer to get the Gordo stuck, but you get the stage sooner and can then follow up much easier. We'll talk about this more later. Make sure you jump right on the ledge, and then go from that right into one full hop from there. Jump one more time, then UGordo right back towards the ledge, and you should be set. Hop back on stage, and you are in position to kill. The purpose of all these jumps is to get the falling Gordo to just make contact with the edge of the stage. So obviously, if you throw Gordo and it misses, Like here, you're too far away when you threw it. Remember, the hitbox of Gordo is smaller than it looks. You can see the red dot there is my rough approximation. Generally, I like to say just under half of Gordo should be over the stage. Of course, then you can do the opposite. Say you throw Gordo too close to the stage, like here. See, I'm not quite at the edge, and then I'm gonna go ahead and use my double jump method. Well, what happens? Gordo just bounces. That's it. So, practice this one a little bit. It's not too hard. Don't get too frustrated if Gordo bounces off, because that means you're doing it right. Once you get the feel for dropping Gordo from above onto the ledge, you can start going for some Guardsticks, which flow really from any kind of edge guard that you do. Here, Girthquake is going to go for a down throw to back air, and you can do it even from a jump off fair. It's all just on your own practice and spacing. Here he gets the up Gordo, and it's going to drop straight down. You can see how the line on Duck Hunt Omega really helps with your practice. Use the stage, get the general feel for it, because it's going to lead to death. Now let's move on to the Bounceoff Stick, a slightly rarer method. Gordo has to hit the opponent right next to the ledge, bounce off them, and ricochet back onto the stage. Obviously, it's very situational, dependent on both the opponent and the timing of the Gordo, but if you land it, it's completely of no risk to you, and you can follow up with your dare, whatever you can imagine. And next is something you've probably already done, the Snipestick. You're way off stage trying to get back, and you throw a Gordo. It happens to stick. Great job. The best part of this is it's going to open up the ledge for you and force the opponent to back off, unless they're dumb, and go off and you get a free dare. So a summary and contrast on the different kinds of Gordo sticks. Pros. The Shortstick is the easiest and the fastest. It works on every single stage. You'll be using this a lot. But the Fullstick gains stage control faster. You're up and standing and can follow up with like an F smash just faster. Guardstick, on the other hand, isn't really official, but it flows more naturally from any state where you are off stage trying to edge guard the opponent. It also works at even lower percentages, since you hit them off first and then have more time to react. The Bounceoff Stick has no risk, completely maintains stage control, and also allows you to have fast on-stage follow-ups. And the Snipestick can often net you a free ledge get-up, but even better, heavily punishes super aggressive opponents trying to edge guard you. And now, the cons. The Shortstick is the most risky, as you are throwing yourself off stage at a 50% chance of getting the Gordo stick, and requiring enough time for the opponent to not be close enough to hit you while you're going for that stick. The Fullstick is even slower than that, and also requires the low recovery. And then the Guardstick is just really strict on timing and spacing, as it does flow from your normal edge guard, but then it's hard to tell if you're too close or too far. It takes practice and a good feel for the Gordo stick. The Bounceoff Stick is just really hard to time and space, and is dependent on the opponent. Finally, the Snipestick is the least risky. But, again, it's situational and it's difficult to follow up if the opponent doesn't just hand themselves to you. So how do you know which stick to use? Well, here's a general guide. If the opponent is really close, go for either a guard stick or a bounce off, because that's about the time you'll have for. If the opponent's a little bit farther out, go for a short stick. If you have enough time for it, it's definitely worth it. Now, if you landed a D smash and the opponent barely survived, that is when you go for the full stick, when you've got the most amount of time and can set up for the most ensured kill. Now, of course, we're going to apply all of this with actual examples, but we're also going to do that alongside follow-ups. Before any details on those, first know that you often won't even need a follow-up. You'll see me go for the stick here, and the stick bounces off, but is still a viable edge guard and nets me the kill. This can happen all the time. Sometimes even just the presence of the Gordo timed right at the ledge will kill opponents before it even sticks. Here it actually bounced off and then stuck. But please understand, it is still incredibly important for you to master follow-ups, because Dedede needs every single chance he can get, especially ones where it means a free stock. So, that said, here's a list of all the best follow-ups Dedede has off of a stick. First, the spike from up B is actually one of your best follow-ups. It is your fastest, it kills them at all percentage, is hype as hell, but is crazy risky. If you don't hit them high enough, you won't be able to cancel it without killing yourself. In contrast, Bear is your most reliable, and will kill just about everyone in the cast above 80%. F Smash is the most guaranteed, but takes the most amount of time, while Dare is also hype as hell, but the most difficult to land, due to the terrible hitbox and horrible startup on it. Now when you get the opponent off stage and you're going for a stick, you have to keep in mind that Gordo sticks only work on a low recovery, whether you force the opponent into recover with an edge guard, or they're choosing to recover low because they're scared. And when you knock an opponent off, you need to be keeping track of two concepts, distance and damage. So that once you get the stick and see how the opponent reacts, you already know which follow-up you're going to go for. Here's an example. Dash attack Luigi off and I jump. I meant this to be an edge guard in case he tried to cover high, but Luigi's scared, so he's going to recover low with his side B. I see this and quickly dial back into a full stick. Success! Now I land on stage and evaluate. Here's a rough estimate of how far opponents will fly when they hit Gordo, dependent on their percentage. When they hit Gordo, they're in hit stun for a considerable amount of time, giving you more than enough time to see and react. I've had time to get back to stage, so I either am going to go for an F smash or a bear. As he's at a lower percentage and I've got the time, I'm going to go for the F smash. So I charge the F smash and Luigi hits Gordo. Now here are the potential DI trajectories that Luigi can take, away, up, or towards the stage. This could be a problem if we're going for a different follow-up, but F smash is powerful precisely because it covers all options due to the speed at which it swings and hits opponents just as they start rising out of the Gordo contact. Here, Luigi DIs away and boom. Easy stock. Now here's a great example I got actually on stream at a local last night. I get an F throw at high percent and instantly go for the stick since I know I'll have at least some time. The stick works and I'm going to go for the up B. Now note here the jump. It is critical that you jump at least once or twice before going for the up B. This will put you high enough to get the spike and then hopefully give you enough time to flip out and grab the ledge as well afterwards. So we go for the up B, Ike up Bs, and he actually misses the Gordo, but I still managed to hit him. Now, note the screen freeze here. This only happens when you hit the opponent, and this is when you want to hit up, flip out, and grab the ledge. Don't forget that extra jump, because without it, you're often just not going to be high enough to hit the opponent, or catch their outside DI, and yes, D. Now, here's a great example with the opponent at a higher percentage. Do you see how high Fox's percentage is? I get the stick. But even if he hits it, I predict he's going to DI out, and he's going to go pretty darn high because of his high percentage. With that in mind, I'm going to go for a ledge jump bear. Boom! Bear overall is just a great option because it covers almost every single DI option the opponent has. Now here's a few great examples from Girthquake. Here he goes for the Snipestick, gets the up B, and the opponent has to go back down into his dare. Oh, it's glorious. And here he uses inhale to get him off stage. Very well done. And starts an edge guard, which turns into a very nice Bounceoff Stick to up B death. Always be open to exploring new methods here. Here, Girthquake uses a very nice D smash. Don't just use the follow-ups I have listed, be creative on your own. Overall, that is going to summarize what we should be doing with all stick ideas, methods, and follow-ups. Nothing is guaranteed here, as there are so many variables with timing and DI. You can see here I react to the opponent's DI, and then get back on stage and punish his second Gordo hit after the air dodge. And of course, what's a great read without a little Dedede dance up in there. Now, the Gordo stick doesn't have to be purely a kill option either. Here I get knocked off stage and go for the Gordo snipe, and then inhale to throw him off into just a nasty situation. There are so many variables here, what with timing and DI. Make sure you're always moving and adapting to whatever happens in the match. Here I completely miss the opponent, so I flip out to regain stage control, and then threaten what I think will be a jump and punish appropriately. Never think that just because you got the stick that you've won. You always must read the opponent, always must watch them, and always must react appropriately for the true hype kills. So here's a few quick summaries for you. Some rough follow-ups by percentage. At 0 to 30%, the opponents will barely move, so you gotta use Dare or an F smash to kill them, or just SD with up B. At 30 to 80, that's when they're gonna go up at one character height. Use up B or Dare to kill there. And once they're in between, I'd say about 80 to 120, you're going to need Bear to kill or use a high up B, so you have to jump a bit beforehand. Above that, almost anything's going to kill him. I've actually used a Fair to kill at that percentage, but up air can work, Bear, you name it, whatever can hit, you just got to get yourself up there in time. All of this completely varies with their DI and timing. Of course, if you have more time, F smash is going to cover a ton of options. And if you've got more time than that, then you can jump way up and try to land that dare right as they hit the Gordo and are just exiting hit stun. Practice this, experiment with what you feel works best for you, and go with it. Oh, and here's an actual time comparison between the full and short sticks. The main difference being that the Gordo is stuck sooner with the Shortstick, however, Dedede is standing on stage sooner with the Fullstick, allowing that standing F smash or down B, whatever you want to be ridiculous with. And now our final section, extra tips, notes, and some great stage tricks for you. Hope you're excited. First, know that reflectors actually turn your own Gordo sticks against you. Watch carefully. There. See how the Gordo changed? And now it hits me instead. Fortunately, Dedede is almost anti-Gordo stick because he can easily float around or use his up B to armor through it. Now, obviously, whether or not opponents hit Gordo is hugely dependent on where they hit the stick, and it does beat most tethers, as you can see here. However, depending on where the Gordo ends up sticking and where the opponent grabs the ledge, they can often grab through it, as you see right there. Roy actually had grabbed above the stick and then was invincible when his hitbox made contact with it. Now here Girthquake does a great Gordo snipe into a Bounceoff Stick. What? Yeah, when Link grabbed the ledge, his vulnerable hurtbox just didn't come in contact with the hitbox of the Gordo, so he gets to recover safely. Make sure you try to put Gordo just a bit lower on the ledge. The good news is that Gordo still covers all of Link's get-up options, and Girthquake is able to convert. Now, some stage-specific stuff. First, you can stick on Battlefield by triple jumping off one of the low platforms. Useful if you want to fake a high edge guard and then quickly flow back into a stick. Now, SMASHVILLE, of course, everything works just fine, except that platform can sometimes get in the way of a full stick. But actually, the platforms can help you. Stand just a bit away from the ledge, throw it a UGordo, and you've got a beautiful stick situation. Be careful to do it just as the platform is slowing down. It's really easy to miss this, or even get the Gordo to bounce on stage. Now, I think I lost my footage for it, but you can actually throw a Dgordo from the far side of the platform and get that to stick as well. Try it out and experiment, see what you can do. Now, I don't like Town and City, besides the fact that it lets Dedede down at the top easier, but that the platforms and balloons often just get in the way. Of course, you can do a fall-off stick, but that's my take on the level. On Dreamland, the Fullstick just doesn't work. Make sure you go at least for any of the other stick options when you do that. On Lilat, of course, it's janky. Make sure the wing of the plane is flat when you're trying to go for a full stick. Otherwise, a short stick with like a fall off is probably just your best bet. Oh, I can't believe I forgot to mention this, but the Gordo stays stuck for about 3.5 seconds on the ledge, regardless of if it's hit or not. And strangely, the Bouncing Gordo custom move sticks 100% of the time, if only customs were allowed, or if that was Dedede's default custom. But if wishes were fishes. Anyways, that's all I got for now. I really hope you enjoyed the video. I know I enjoyed putting a lot of work into it. I'm just sorry it took me so long. The research process, as you heard, was arduous and frankly frustrating at some times, but I'm glad this was the end product. Otherwise, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. That is really what motivates me to keep doing these videos, you guys, and how much you also love the character. Thanks for watching. This is Soul Train. I'll see you next time.